Hi, I'm Beth Scott with A Proper Hat. I hope you've seen my other video on scarf tying techniques for carriage drivers. Today I'm going to talk about how to keep your hat on as a carriage driver. Of course, there's some special constraints to carriage drivers. You're moving at a pretty good clip of speed, and you want to know that your hat's not going to take off as you're going down center line and roll like a tumbleweed out of the arena. So over the years, I've worked on various techniques, either learning them from somebody else or developing them myself, and I'd like to share those with you. This hat is, I'm retrimming it. It's a hat I've had for quite a while, and I ran a lot of my tests on this hat, and at one time I had nearly every technique for keeping a hat on in this hat. I've removed a few of them because I found out you just don't need that many things in order to keep your hat on. You just have to find out what's effective for you. I used to tell people if they saw this hat come off, call 911 because my scalp was with it. But two techniques I can show you here. And by the way, I want to tell you, the way folks traditionally have kept hats on is with hat pins. Please don't use those. The hats nowadays are not like your vintage hats, which were a lot thicker and stronger, and you could count on inserting a hat pin through the hat and into your hair clips or whatever, and you could keep your hat on. Well, you might, or your hat might tear. So there's other more effective methods. Please use your nice hat pins for decoration rather than securing your hat. This hat shows two different methods for keeping your hat on, and actually these two work together quite well. There's a comb that's attached to the hat band, and hopefully you have a hat with a Petersham hat band that you can fasten things to. Some of the factory-made hats do not have this. The comb is fastened to the hat band and would fit into your hairline and kind of grab your hairline. Some people can't stand that feeling, so there's other methods. There's the elastics. You've all seen these elastics. By themselves, I don't find them to be very effective, but I'll show you a method that will make these work much better for you in keeping your hat on. The elastics look like this, and they need to be inserted with like a needle nose plier. And you just shove the sharp point into the Petersham, and it comes out the other side, and you turn it over. And if you put a couple of stitches in there, it helps hold it even better. Sometimes that metal piece comes loose, and the stitches will keep it on. The combs look like this, and they're quite versatile. Let's see. Another method that uses elastics uses very short elastics. These can be a lot more comfortable and more secure than the longer elastics. They're inserted the same way with a needle nose plier, and I'll show you where these should be inserted on the hat, how they're fitted onto the hat in just a few minutes. Then there are bow ties. This is the method I use on my own hats. It's a matter of preference, and all these methods you should kind of screen for your preference. The bow ties are sewn onto the Petersham, and you can insert bobby pins in or clips in order to hold them into your hair. They fit right above your ear. and they are amazingly secure. Since the bow ties fit midway on your head, they secure both the front and the back of the hat, and they're easy to fasten on your head. The bow ties you have to make yourself, or you can get them on my website, aproperhat.com, just like you can all the other things you're going to see here. But you can make them yourself with what's called horsehair or crinoline. You can get them at the local fabric shop, and you might end up with about 2.5 inches of bow tie sewn in the center, and then you sew that onto your hat. One other method for keeping your hat on is to make the hats a bit more snug. You can do this with inserting foam pieces, preferably with some stick on them, on the inside of your Petersham hat ribbon. You can get this at the hardware store. It's used for insulation. I have this around my windows. It'll snug your hat down a little bit more and give you a little bit more security. Now, for ladies with thin, short hair, they have a special challenge because a lot of these methods require using hairpins or clips, and they just don't have enough volume of hair to clip. I haven't tried this myself, but using double stick tape around the inside of the hat is a method that I've heard works for people with thin hair, thin and very short hair. Okay, on this hat, which by the way is being retrimmed, we're going to show you how to fasten your elastics. It does have the comb in there. And let me tell you first about where you should place these elastics in relationship to your overall hat band. Now, they're going to be placed forward on your head because they're going to be drawn back here. It's going to keep some pressure on the front of your hat to keep it from lifting. And then we're going to fasten it on so that it does not lift from side to side. So you can see in this hat band, this is the front. These elastics are fastened pretty far forward. First of all, we're going to drop that comb down so it sits a little onto Annie's head here. This is Annie, my stepdaughter, and it's Robert behind the camera there, her husband, who's helping us out with this, doing a fantastic job. And so you get the elastics on like you traditionally do. And with Annie's dark hair, you can't see them at all. So I'm going to pull it out here. And we're going to fasten that elastic down on either side of her ear. For these elastics, we're going to use these Sure Grip barrettes, but you can use bobby pins too. And grab some of that hair, slip it up in here, snap it on. Then do another one behind the ear, slip it in there, and snap it on. It's a pretty quick method that you can use. Get your hat on and go. Now the next method is with the shorter elastics. The shorter elastics are different. I'm sorry, Annie.
It's okay.
Let's get those out of there. We'll use bobby pins on the next one.
That shows you how securely it's fastened.
That's true. Up. Yep, it's on. And we got to get the front of it off. Okay, on this one, We have the shorter elastics. Okay, both these elastics, both the front end of the elastic and the back of the elastic, should be inserted into a hat band so they fit in front of the ear. As you're going to pull those elastics back and fasten them behind the ear. Annie likes this hat. So I got a hold of the elastic. See, I'm going to pull it behind her ear, get out the bobby pins, and slide them up in there. Now what you want to do is use several bobby pins, but because we want to get this hat off fairly quickly to go on to the next one, I'm just going to put in one. So the elastics are in front of the ear, you're pulling them behind. There's a lot of people who really like this method once they try it because it's comfortable. The last method, which I've said is my favorite, that's the bow ties. And again, the positioning of these methods is important. The bow tie you're going to want to get, so the center of it is right at the front of the ear. Hope you can see that against Annie's dark hair. But the bow tie would be fastened under your hat band right in front of your ear. The reason for that is to fasten the hat on in both in front and back of the ear, just like we did with the elastics. So you would slip your bobby pins up. I don't recommend the clips on these. You find that little sucker in there. There it is. Bring it down with your finger and slip a bobby pin in there. If you can slip a couple in front of your ear and behind your ear, cross the bobby pins, it'll just lock that on. So those are the in-hat methods that I have found work well for carriage drivers. You can buy these materials online at A Proper Hat, and you can always drop me a line if you have any questions. Thank you. Thanks, Annie.